They told you your best years were in your 20s. They told you that once the gray appears, the world looks away. But they were wrong, because true attraction has nothing to do with youth. It's about energy, the kind of energy that cannot be imitated, hurried, or edited. It is the quiet confidence built from a man who has faced storms and no longer feels the need to prove he survived them. Most men spend their early years running after things, running after beauty, running after attention, running after approval. But here is the truth. What makes an older man magnetic is not how young he looks, but how little he needs to chase. There is a natural weight to a man who has lived, who has fallen, rebuilt, and learned to stand without an audience. That is when his presence shifts. He does not enter a room seeking to be noticed. He enters knowing he belongs. And that silent confidence, that is what draws attention without effort. You may no longer see yourself as attractive, but others do. Not because of your appearance, but because of what you carry within, calm, strength, and the quiet mastery that only time can create. In this video, you will discover 8 unmistakable signs that you are not simply growing older, you are becoming dangerously attractive. Not the kind of attraction that fades with time, but the kind that grows stronger with it. By the end, you will stop questioning your reflection and start recognizing the power that has been building quietly inside you all along. So take a breath, relax, and listen closely, because it is time to see what others have already seen in you. Welcome to Stoicism Pathways, where age isn't a weakness, it's your edge. There's something different about the way you move now. You no longer walk into a room trying to prove anything, and yet people notice. They feel something before they even understand it. It's not the shape of your jaw, the color of your eyes, or the way your clothes fit. It's deeper. It's presence. It's the aura of stillness that surrounds a man who no longer needs the world's permission to exist. When you were younger, confidence looked loud. It was fast cars, bold courage, wild laughter, all attempts to convince yourself and others that you mattered. But real power is quieter than that. It doesn't shout, it radiates. And when a man reaches that point in life, when he no longer runs from himself, something magnetic happens. You see, calmness is the new charisma. In a world where everyone is desperate to be seen, the man who doesn't compete for attention becomes the center of it. He doesn't rush to fill silences. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't seek validation because he's already found peace within himself. That's the paradox of maturity. What once looked like detachment is actually depth. What used to feel like loneliness becomes solitude. What others call aging, you call mastery. When you enter a room, your energy says, "I've been through hell and I'm still here." People can sense that. They might not know your story, but they feel the weight of experience in your stillness. You don't need to demand respect anymore. You embody it. Women notice this instantly, even if they can't explain why. Younger men may have the flash, but you have the gravity. You carry the kind of energy that doesn't need to chase because it already knows its worth. Your calm doesn't come from lack of desire, it comes from control of it. It's the quiet confidence that says, "I want nothing from you, but I'm open to everything aligned with me." That is what makes you magnetic, not your looks, but your composure. When a man is grounded, he becomes unpredictable in the best way. People can't read him, can't manipulate him, can't pull reactions from him. And that drives curiosity, especially in women, because emotional stability is rare, and rarity breeds desire. You don't need to talk about your achievements. You don't need to explain your value. You simply exist, and that's enough. That's the energy of a man who's fought his own battles, lost things he thought he couldn't live without, and rebuilt himself in silence. The Stoics said, "He who controls himself controls the world." And it's true. Your stillness is control in its purest form. You've learned not to be reactive. You've learned that not every message needs a reply, not every insult deserves an answer, and not every opportunity is meant for you. You've become selective not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. When you reach this stage, you realize that peace is not found. It's built through pain, patience, and the quiet discipline of not losing yourself for approval. And that foundation, that stillness, becomes your new form of attraction. It's why people trust you. It's why women feel safe around you. It's why your presence changes the atmosphere of any room you walk into. Think about it. The loudest man in the room is rarely the most respected. The one who commands attention doesn't need to raise his voice. His silence does it for him. You've learned to let your energy speak before your words do. You've mastered restraint, the art of saying less and meaning more. You've stopped chasing chaos and started cultivating calm. And that calm is what separates you from the noise. You don't flinch when others provoke you. You don't crumble when things fall apart. You respond with patience, wisdom, and quiet authority because you've already faced worse and survived. That's the aura of stillness. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally untouchable. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. And once you learn to embrace it, you'll notice something remarkable. The world starts moving differently around you. People speak softer. Eyes linger longer. Respect becomes natural. You've stopped chasing validation, and that's exactly why it follows you. This is the new era of attraction. Not loud, not desperate, not youthful, but timeless. Because real confidence doesn't come from how you look. It comes from how you carry yourself. So the next time you walk into a room, don't shrink. Don't apologize for your calm. You've earned it. That stillness is your power. And once you understand that, you'll realize you're not losing attraction with age. You're refining it. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. But for a man who's lived, they're more than that. They're the archives of his becoming. When you were young, your eyes held fire, bright, restless, eager to prove something to the world. But with time, that fire transformed. It didn't fade, it deepened. Now, when people look into your eyes, they don't see excitement. They see experience. That's what separates an older man from the rest. His eyes don't sparkle with naive hope. They glow with calm awareness. They've seen storms, they've watched people leave, promises break, dreams fall apart. And yet they've also seen themselves rebuild. There's power in that. Because people can sense it. When you look at someone, you don't just see them, you read them. You've learned to notice the pauses between words, the hesitation in their tone, the emotion behind the mask. And that level of perception is magnetic. Younger men might attract attention through surface charm, but your strength is in the gaze that understands. It's not about staring, it's about being present. You look and people feel seen, not judged, not analyzed, but understood. That's rare. And in a world starving for connection, that kind of presence becomes irresistible. A woman feels it instantly. She looks into your eyes and senses the gravity, not of what you say, but of what you've endured. There's something about the way you hold eye contact, steady, unhurried, unbroken, that makes her heartbeat slow down. It's grounding. It's steady, it's safe, because behind those eyes isn't a man trying to impress. It's a man who's already found peace within himself. That's the kind of energy women lean into, not out of curiosity, but out of trust. When you've been through life's storms, your gaze changes. It becomes less reactive, more observant. You stop trying to control how people see you and start observing how they show themselves. And that quiet observation gives you an advantage, not in manipulation, but in clarity. The Stoics taught that the most powerful man is the one who sees clearly without attachment. That's your gaze now, steady, discerning, detached from outcome. You don't see through people to judge them, you see through them to understand. There's no need for words when your eyes speak for you. They say, I've been hurt, but I've healed, I've lost, but I've learned. I no longer chase, I attract through stillness. And that's exactly what happens. People are drawn in without knowing why. Because the human soul is wired to recognize peace. You've probably noticed it yourself. Strangers make eye contact with you more often now. Women glance longer than they intend to. Men listen when you speak. Even if you're not the loudest voice in the room, your eyes carry the kind of authority that can't be taught, only earned. Every scar you've hidden, every loss you've endured, every quiet night you spent rebuilding your spirit, it all lives there. And paradoxically, it's that pain turned wisdom that makes your eyes beautiful. Not soft but soulful, not desperate but deliberate. You no longer look for validation in someone else's gaze. You've learned that how people see you says more about them than about you, and that realization sets you free. Now, when someone looks at you, they don't just see a man. They feel a presence, a life fully lived, a heart that's been broken and rebuilt with precision. That's what makes you good-looking. Not symmetry, not youth, not perfection, but depth. You see, attraction isn't just physical. It's energetic, and your energy, born of years, carries weight. Your gaze reminds people of something they've forgotten: stability, strength, stillness. That's the paradox of the older man. He doesn't seek to impress, yet he leaves an impression. He doesn't try to be interesting, yet everyone wonders about his story, because his eyes don't just look, they remember. So don't hide them. Don't avoid eye contact out of self-consciousness or modesty. Look up, let people see the history, the pain, the peace, because those aren't signs of age, they're signs of evolution. The man who has looked into the mirror of his own soul and made peace with what he saw, that man is unstoppable. He doesn't chase beauty. He becomes it through truth, through clarity, through calm. And when your eyes carry that stillness, that silent strength, people can't look away, not because you're trying to be seen, but because you finally learn to see yourself. There's a certain kind of silence that follows when a grounded man speaks, not because his voice is the loudest, but because it carries weight. When you were younger, you probably thought a powerful voice was about volume. You thought being heard meant being louder than everyone else. But as you grew, you realized that true influence doesn't come from noise. It comes from tone. Your voice has changed over the years. It's not as fast, not as eager to fill every pause. It's slower now, deliberate, composed, confident. And that change didn't happen by accident. It came from the lessons life forced into you. The losses, the late nights, the rebuilding. They reshaped not just your mindset, but your sound. Now, when you speak, there's something different in the way your words land. Your voice doesn't demand attention. It commands it. It doesn't rush. It resonates. The Stoics said that power lies in restraint, and your voice proves it. You no longer speak to impress. You speak to express truth, clarity, conviction. You understand that silence is part of communication too. Sometimes the pause between words speaks louder than the words themselves. That's what makes your voice magnetic. It's not about pitch or perfection, it's about presence, a calm tone that says, I've seen enough, I've learned enough, I don't need to prove anything. And that energy, that steady masculine vibration, grounds people around you. Women especially feel it instantly. They may not understand why, but they respond to it because your voice makes them feel safe. Not in a controlling way, but in a centering way. You speak and the room slows down. Your tone says everything's under control, and in a world of chaos, that's rare and irresistible. You don't interrupt, you don't shout, you don't talk over people to assert dominance. Your confidence doesn't need to prove itself. Instead, you listen fully, you speak calmly and let your words carry meaning rather than volume. That's what separates the older man from the younger one. Younger men try to win the room. Older men already own their space. They understand that power isn't in the throat, it's in the breath before the words. When you talk, there's no desperation for validation. You're not chasing reactions. You're building resonance. That's why your voice doesn't just reach people's ears, it reaches their emotions. And here's the deeper truth. Your voice is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is anxious, your words stumble. If your heart is insecure, your tone wavers. But when your spirit is calm, when you've made peace with who you are, your voice aligns with it. It becomes stable, balanced, unshakable. That's what women hear. Even when they don't consciously realize it, they hear the steadiness, the certainty, the grounded masculine calm that says, I'm not trying to control you. I'm in control of myself. And that's the most attractive thing a man can ever communicate. Your voice carries years of living, every heartbreak, every triumph, every night you held yourself together. That's why it resonates so deeply, because it's real. No pretense, no performance, just authenticity carved out by time. When you speak from that place, people listen not because they have to, but because they want to. They lean in not out of curiosity, but because they can feel the honesty behind your words. Even silence feels different when it comes from you. It's not awkward, it's anchoring. That's what makes you stand out in any room. While others talk to fill space, you speak to create meaning. While others talk to be liked, you speak because you have something worth saying. The truth is, your voice is no longer just sound, it's a signature. It tells the world, I've lived, I've learned, I've found my rhythm. And once you discover that rhythm, everything you say, even the smallest word, carries quiet authority. So don't lower your voice to fit in. Don't rush your sentences to keep up. Let your tone stay calm, deliberate, intentional, because your voice as it is now is not something you need to fix. It's something you've earned. You are no longer speaking just to be heard. You're speaking to remind others what composure sounds like. And that, my friend, is the mark of a man who doesn't just enter the room, he grounds it. Before you say a single word, your body has already introduced you. It tells the world who you are, not through muscle size or height, but through energy. The way you stand, the way you walk, the way you occupy space. These things speak long before your voice ever does. And the older you get, the more your body tells a story. Not the story of decline, as society wants you to believe, but the story of discipline. Every line on your face, every scar, every callus, every slow, deliberate movement. It all speaks of a man who's endured. When you were younger, your energy was scattered, fast, impulsive, loud. You were always moving towards something, a goal, a woman, approval. But now your energy moves differently. It's slower, controlled. You walk like a man who's no longer chasing. You move like someone who knows his worth isn't up for negotiation. That's what people notice, even if they can't articulate it, because stillness in motion is rare in a room full of men trying to prove something. The one who moves with calm purpose stands out. Every gesture becomes intentional, every step grounded, every action deliberate. That's the secret of an attractive older man, composure. He doesn't rush, he doesn't fidget, he doesn't perform. He moves from his center and everyone feels it. When a younger man walks into a room, people see his energy. When a seasoned man walks in, people feel his presence. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. It's the unspoken authority that comes from mastering yourself. You've learned to take care of your body, not to impress anyone, but to respect yourself. You train not to look young, but to stay sharp, strong, and grounded. You eat well, you rest, you move not to fight time, but to cooperate with it. Because the man who honors his body honors his spirit. And people can tell. A straight posture, relaxed shoulders, and a calm gait signal more than fitness. They signal confidence. They tell the world, I belong here. I know who I am. That's far more attractive than six-pack abs, because physical perfection fades, but physical presence endures. Even in small moments, the way you shake a hand, the way you take a seat, the way you turn your head when someone speaks, all of it reveals your inner world. If you're restless, it shows. If you're at peace, it radiates. And peace, when embodied, is irresistible. That's why women pay attention not just to how you look, but how you carry yourself. They notice the steadiness in your step, the way you lean back with ease, the way you don't need to fill the space with words. It's not just attraction, it's admiration. Because deep down, every woman recognizes the rare strength of a man who's in control of himself. When you carry yourself with quiet power, you don't need to flex. You don't need to posture. Your body language already says everything it needs to. I'm not chasing anyone. I'm centered. I'm here on purpose. That's the essence of Stoic masculinity. Power without pretense. And if you've ever doubted whether people still notice you, pay attention next time. Notice how people respond when you walk into a room with that calm, grounded energy. The subtle glances, the quiet respect, the shift in tone when you speak. That's your body speaking on your behalf. Understand this. Your physique isn't a trophy, it's a reflection of your mindset. The older man who moves with strength and grace is not showing off. He's showing mastery. He's proof that growth doesn't stop with age. It sharpens with it. Your body at this stage is not just physical, it's symbolic. It represents endurance, stability, and command. And when you honor that vessel through discipline, movement, and stillness, you project something that no youth or fashion can imitate: authentic power. So stand tall, move with purpose, walk like every step you take is a declaration that you've earned your place in this world, because you have. And when you carry yourself with that kind of calm physical authority, something incredible happens. People stop seeing your age. They see your energy. And that energy doesn't age. It evolves. The body that once chased attention now commands it quietly, naturally, without effort. Because when you master your movement, your body becomes what it was always meant to be. A living reminder that time doesn't take away your power, it refines it. There's something almost poetic about the way a grounded man moves through the world. He doesn't rush, he doesn't stumble, he doesn't apologize for existing. He walks like a man who's already seen life from every angle, its chaos, its beauty, its heartbreak, and learned that nothing and no one can shake his center anymore. That's what women notice first. Not the details of your outfit or the sharpness of your jawline, but the way you carry yourself. Because movement is energy, and energy never lies. You can always tell when a man is unsure of himself. He fidgets. He looks around for approval. His posture collapses under invisible weight, the weight of wanting to be liked. But when a man has lived long enough, fought enough battles, and buried enough illusions, he walks differently. He walks with intention. Every step has rhythm. Every gesture has calm precision. He doesn't demand attention, but he receives it because his body has learned the art of quiet command. That's what happens when a man becomes whole. He stops needing to convince the world of his worth and starts embodying it. He's no longer trying to be interesting. He is interesting, not because he's performing, but because he's present. When you walk into a room now, notice how people subtly react. They make space for you, not out of fear, but out of respect. You don't even have to say a word. Your stillness, your posture, your deliberate pace tell the room, I know who I am. And that, my friend, is the quiet power of the older man, older. You see, in your 20s, confidence was something you tried to show. Now it's something you simply are. It's in the way your shoulders relax when you stand. It's in the way your eyes stay calm when others lose control. It's in the way you move slowly, not because you're tired, but because you've stopped chasing what doesn't matter. The Stoics taught that composure is the ultimate form of strength. And when you embody that teaching, your presence changes the atmosphere around you. Women pick up on it instantly. The way you lean back instead of forward, the way you pause before speaking, the way you smile, not wide and eager, but small, controlled, knowing. That subtle restraint sends a powerful signal. I'm not trying to be chosen. I already choose myself. That's what makes you attractive in a way youth never could. Because the younger man moves for attention. The older man moves for purpose. His actions are slower, sharper, more deliberate. Every gesture says, I'm in control of myself, not trying to control you. Your body language becomes a mirror of your mind, calm, measured, and confident. You no longer flinch when others test you. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You stand in your space fully, not as a threat, but as an anchor. That's why people naturally feel grounded around you, because your energy says nothing shakes me anymore, and that kind of steadiness is magnetic. It draws people in without you even trying. Here's a simple truth. The way you carry yourself is a reflection of how much you respect yourself. When you move with purpose, when you walk with spine straight and chin level, you're telling the world that you know your value without needing to say a word. That's not arrogance, it's awareness. And awareness is attractive. Even your silence feels different now. It's not empty, it's full of intent. People feel the weight of your pause, the meaning behind your stillness, because everything about you now carries experience. You've learned to slow down, to breathe, to take up space without guilt. And in doing so, you've become the kind of man others want to follow. Not because you demand leadership, but because you embody it. So walk with calm authority, move with quiet rhythm. Let every step say, I know who I am and I'm not in a hurry to prove it. Because that's what true attraction is. Not youth, not perfection, not flash, it's certainty. And when you carry yourself with certainty, the world feels it. Every glance, every handshake, every quiet moment of presence. Your walk becomes your statement. Your composure becomes your signature, and your stillness becomes your strength. You've outgrown the need to be impressive. Now simply by being yourself, calm, grounded, and fully present, you've become unforgettable. In a world where everyone wants to speak, the man who listens becomes unforgettable. Because true listening, the kind that's patient, quiet, and fully present, is a dying art. And yet, when you master it, it becomes one of your greatest sources of power and attraction. When you were younger, you probably listened to respond. You waited for your turn to talk, eager to be understood, eager to impress. But now something inside you has changed. You no longer listen to win. You listen to see. You listen not just to the words, but to what's beneath them. The pauses, the hesitation, the emotion they're trying to hide. That's the advantage of a man who's lived. He hears differently. Experience gives you ears that don't just register sound. They register truth. When you truly listen, you communicate one thing louder than any words could ever say. You're safe here. You don't need to perform. That right there is what makes women relax around you. It's why they talk more when they're with you. It's why they share things they don't tell anyone else. Because your silence doesn't feel cold. It feels steady. It feels like a space they can breathe in. You've learned that silence isn't empty. It's full of understanding, patience, and presence. And that presence is what separates a boy from a man. You don't need to dominate conversations anymore. You don't need to outshine anyone. You let others speak. You observe. You absorb. And when you do respond, your words carry weight. Because now, when you speak, it's not from the urge to be heard. It's from the clarity of understanding. That's why people listen when you talk. They feel that you've already listened first. This is something younger men rarely understand, that listening isn't passive, it's power. It's emotional intelligence in its purest form. It's self-control disguised as kindness. It's the discipline of holding space for others while staying rooted in your own calm. That kind of presence changes the dynamic completely. It shifts the energy in a conversation from competition to connection. And that's where your quiet magnetism lives. The Stoics believed that wisdom begins with listening. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." You embody that now, not as a rule, but as a way of being. Because when you truly listen, you stop reacting and start understanding. You no longer jump to defend your ego or correct someone's opinion. You've realized that not every disagreement is an attack. You understand that silence, when chosen, is strength. People notice this in you. They feel your patience. They sense that your calm isn't weakness. It's control. You're not waiting to talk. You're waiting to understand. And that makes every interaction with you feel deeper, more real. A woman will test many men with her words, but she opens up to the one who listens without judgment, because listening is respect, and respect, especially in today's world, is rare. You see, most men talk to impress, you listen to connect. That's why people remember you long after the conversation ends, because you didn't just hear them, you made them feel seen. And here's the irony. When you stop trying to be interesting, you become fascinating. When you stop trying to lead every conversation, people naturally follow your rhythm. When you stop trying to prove you're right, people start trusting your wisdom. That's what maturity sounds like: quiet, grounded, certain. Your listening presence carries something most people crave but rarely find: peace. When you listen, others feel centered. They sense the stillness in your energy, the same stillness that took you years to build. And in that stillness, attraction happens naturally, because real connection isn't built through grand gestures or perfect words. It's built through attention. Your eyes, your posture, your quiet nod, all of it tells the other person, "I'm here. You have my full focus." That kind of focus is intoxicating because it's rare, because it's real, because it reminds people what presence truly feels like. So don't underestimate this simple power. You don't need clever words or rehearsed charm. Just be there, still open, grounded, because the man who listens with calm presence holds more power than the one who talks endlessly to prove it. And when you listen like that, you're not just hearing others. You're reminding them of something they forgot existed: the quiet strength of a man who's at peace with himself. There's a certain glow that follows a man who knows where he's going. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, unshakable. You can see it in his eyes, hear it in his voice, feel it in his presence. It's the aura of purpose, and it's one of the most magnetic traits an older man can ever possess. When you were younger, you probably thought attraction was about looks, the body, the style, the confidence. But as you age, you realize something. Deeper direction is desire. A man with a mission doesn't need to chase attention. He naturally commands it. Because people, especially women, can sense when a man is led by purpose instead of pleasure. Purpose gives structure to your presence. It's what separates the man drifting through life from the one moving with intention. And that sense of direction doesn't come from ego. It comes from experience, from years of asking yourself hard questions, from nights when you almost lost yourself, from moments when everything you thought defined you fell apart and you had to build again, brick by brick, truth by truth. That's why purpose feels different on a man who's lived. It's no longer about chasing status or proving worth. It's about alignment, walking in tune with who you've become. When you speak about what drives you, not with arrogance, but with quiet conviction, people feel it. They hear the authenticity. They see the fire behind the calm. It's not performative passion. It's lived clarity. And women especially are drawn to that like gravity, because purpose is security, not financial security. Emotional security. It tells her that you know who you are and you're not easily swayed by distraction or temptation. It tells her that your world has direction. And if she steps into it, she'll feel anchored, not lost. There's a saying, when a man finds his purpose, everything around him aligns. That's because purpose breeds certainty, and certainty, when paired with calmness, creates magnetism. People are drawn to leaders not because of their titles, but because of their conviction. And conviction doesn't need to shout, it just needs to exist. Think about Marcus Aurelius. He didn't lead Rome through rage or ego. He led through purpose, through presence, through principle. That's what made him both powerful and deeply human. You carry that same potential. Your purpose doesn't need to be grand or world-changing. It can be simple. To live with integrity, to protect your peace, to master your craft, to be the kind of man whose presence elevates the people around him. Because purpose isn't just what you do, it's how you move through life. It's the energy that infuses every decision, every action, every relationship. When you wake up with direction, your entire energy shifts, your posture straightens, your voice deepens, your eyes focus, because now every step you take means something. And that meaning, that sense of forward motion, is incredibly attractive. Not because it's romantic, but because it's rare. Most people drift. Few are driven. That's why when you have purpose, you stand out without even trying. You stop chasing validation because your mission already validates you. You stop competing with other men because you're too busy fulfilling what's yours. You stop craving attention because your purpose gives you peace. Women notice this. They see the way you move differently, not chasing, not proving, just building. And that kind of quiet focus ignites something primal because instinctively, people are drawn to men who lead themselves. Purpose turns an ordinary man into a pillar. It turns age into advantage, experience into strength, solitude into power. So if you've ever doubted your attractiveness, stop looking at your reflection and start looking at your direction, your path, your discipline, your quiet fire. That's what people feel when you walk into a room. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to announce your mission. It shows in your eyes, your tone, your choices. Because when a man is aligned with purpose, the world doesn't just see him, it feels him. That's not just attractiveness, that's presence. And presence like that doesn't fade with age, it intensifies. So stay the course, keep building, keep walking your path. Because your purpose isn't just what you do, it's who you are. And when a man knows who he is, no one can look away. Detachment isn't cold, it's composed. It's the quiet, centered power of a man who no longer reacts, no longer chases, and no longer allows his peace to be held hostage by anyone. When you were younger, you mistook intensity for connection. You thought love meant constant pursuit, endless attention, and emotional turbulence. But with time and pain, you learned that nothing kills attraction faster than neediness, because neediness says, "My peace depends on you." And detachment says, "My peace depends on me." That shift is everything. A man who is detached isn't heartless. He simply understands that attachment to outcomes creates suffering. He still feels deeply, but he chooses where to invest his emotions. He can care without clinging, love without losing himself. That's not indifference, that's mastery. When a man reaches this level of emotional discipline, his energy changes. He no longer needs to prove his worth through constant reassurance or attention. He moves through life like water, steady, calm, unstoppable. And that's exactly what makes him magnetic. People, especially women, can sense when a man is detached in this way. He's not trying to impress, persuade, or perform. He's simply present. And in a world full of men seeking approval, his calm independence stands out like fire in the dark. When a woman realizes she cannot control a man's emotions, she begins to respect him, because power to her isn't dominance. It's composure. It's the ability to stay grounded when she tests your boundaries. It's saying with your silence, "I'm not here to win you. I'm here to stay true to myself." That's the essence of Stoic magnetism, power through peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that strength is what defines you now. Because detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life. It means engaging with life on your terms. You still desire connection, success, love, but you don't need them to feel whole. You've learned that peace isn't something others can give you. It's something you protect. You've stopped chasing attention and started mastering presence, and that's why people are drawn to you. The truth is, emotional detachment is rare. Most people are prisoners of reaction, quick to anger, quick to crave, quick to seek. But the Stoic man pauses. He observes and decides. That pause, that sacred gap between emotion and action, is where your power lives. When someone disrespects you, you don't lash out. When someone withdraws, you don't beg. When life throws uncertainty your way, You don't panic, you breathe, you adapt, you remain unmoved, and in that stillness you become irresistible. Because confidence that doesn't depend on outcome is unshakable, and peace that can't be stolen is divine. Detachment transforms your relationships too. You stop trying to convince anyone to stay. You stop over-explaining yourself to be understood. You start walking away when energy feels off, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You've learned that silence can say more than any argument, that absence can teach more than presence, that walking away with dignity hurts louder than shouting your worth. And that's what women remember most. Not your words, but your restraint. Not your passion, but your peace. Because peace is power, and power, when paired with kindness, becomes magnetic. That's why people orbit around you differently now. They can feel that you don't need them, and paradoxically, that makes them want you more because you radiate something rare. Self-sufficiency without arrogance. You're no longer pulled by external tides. You've become the tide, and that calm, unwavering energy, that's your quiet dominance. So remember, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start choosing what deserves your care. You stop leaking energy into every distraction and start investing it into peace, purpose, and presence. Because the man who no longer seeks control is in control, and the man who needs nothing attracts everything. That's Stoic magnetism. It's not a performance. It's not a technique. It's the natural gravity of a man who's mastered himself. So when others chase validation, you remain still. When they seek attention, you stay focused. When they crave control, you simply smile because you already hold the only control that matters, the control of your own mind. And in that quiet composure lies your final evolution. Not as the man who chases, but as the man who draws the world toward him. At some point, every man reaches a crossroads. The moment he realizes that peace isn't something you find out there, it's something you decide to protect in here. You've spent years giving your energy to people who didn't value it, explaining yourself to those who never listened, and chasing what was never meant for you. But now you've outgrown that version of yourself. Because the man who knows his worth doesn't beg for attention. He commands respect through silence. He doesn't seek validation, he embodies it. And he doesn't lose himself trying to please others. He walks in purpose, discipline, and peace. Your peace is not a prize to be won or negotiated. It's your birthright. And the moment you choose to guard it, your entire life begins to change. People will feel your absence differently. Opportunities will find their way to you, and respect, the kind that used to slip away, will become your natural atmosphere. So if this message spoke to something deep within you, if you felt that quiet strength building inside the one that says enough, then write it below. Right now, I reclaim my power. Because that single declaration isn't just a comment, it's a commitment. A commitment to your growth, to your standards, to your peace. Subscribe if you're ready to join this brotherhood of Stoic men. Men who no longer chase what doesn't serve them, but become what commands respect. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your transformation. You've heard the truth. Now go live it. With strength, with calm, and with unshakable self-respect, because your peace is non-negotiable.